If you're an you're that guy was an but I certainly did not run over him on purpose.
A birthday party, a 78-year-old Vietnam veteran, and a pickup truck that only seconds later would leave another man critically injured. But perhaps the most shocking part, even the people standing at the scene initially couldn't decide whether they had just witnessed a tragic accident or something intentional. Stay with me. May 10th, 2025. League City, Texas. Body cam footage shows officers arriving at a neighborhood park where paramedics are already treating a seriously injured man. The victim is later identified as 72-year-old Donald Corbett Davis. His injuries appeared so severe that officers struggled to get clear answers from him at the scene. According to authorities, he had suffered a broken femur, serious hip injuries, and severe damage to one of his hands. Then investigators notice a Ford F-150 parked nearby in the grass, and sitting inside the driver's seat is a man calmly admitting, "I'm the one who ran over him." That man's name was Ted Castle, a 78-year-old Vietnam veteran, and honestly, that's when the situation starts feeling uncomfortable, because from the very beginning, Ted insists that everything was simply an accident. He tells officers that his foot allegedly slipped off the brake and hit the accelerator. At one point, he even begins showing officers photos of previous accidents involving the same truck, claiming similar incidents had happened before. But meanwhile, witnesses at the scene begin describing a very different story. According to authorities, both men had attended a mutual friend's 95th birthday party earlier that day. Before the party began, Ted had reportedly parked his truck on the grass. A nearby resident allegedly confronted him about parking there, and that's when the argument reportedly started. Witnesses claim Ted became angry very quickly. Then Donald Corbett Davis arrived and allegedly questioned Ted about the parking situation as well. And honestly, that's when investigators begin wondering whether this may not have been a simple accident at all, because multiple witnesses reportedly claimed that Ted angrily said, "I'm going to run him over." At first, Ted dismisses the statement as a joke, but then body cam footage appears to show him becoming increasingly aggressive. At times, he yells at officers. Other moments, he claims to be the toughest guy around, and at one point, he openly admits to previously displaying a weapon toward the victim. According to authorities, Ted had allegedly become so upset with the victim that he attempted to warn him by showing the weapon. But perhaps the most important moment in the case comes from a statement given by Ted's own friend, Dennis. According to Dennis, Ted turned the truck toward the victim, and then the truck suddenly lurched forward. Dennis later tells investigators that he personally doesn't believe Ted intended to seriously harm anyone, but by that point, detectives were already treating the situation as a major criminal investigation. Meanwhile, Corbett Davis remained in critical condition at the hospital, and throughout the body cam footage, Ted repeatedly asks officers whether the victim is going to survive, but then, during questioning, detectives suddenly walk back into the room, and the entire atmosphere immediately changes, because by that moment, they had already received an update from the hospital. One detective looks directly at Ted and says, "Second thing is, he's dead." And honestly, that's when the entire case becomes even more uncomfortable, because now, this was no longer an accident investigation. The situation had escalated into serious felony charges. According to authorities, Ted Castle was arrested on a serious felony charge, and his bond was later set at $250,000. However, according to court records, the case never ultimately reached trial, because Ted Castle later passed away, resulting in the charges being legally dismissed. But perhaps the most disturbing part of the entire incident is that even people standing at the scene initially couldn't decide whether they had witnessed a tragic accident or a dangerous moment fueled by anger. What are your thoughts on this case? Let us know in the comments below.